created a space where we can celebrate the unsung and the undervalued. A place where we focus on the many talents and influences for women within the culture, in hopes to inspire women everywhere to overcome adversity in a male-dominated world. Welcome to Woman in Hip Hop. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Jazzie Belle, and you're watching Woman in Hip Hop Podcast. And on today's show, we have a special guest co-host. She's a culture reporter and a content creator. Say hello to Jade. Hey, Jade.
Hello, world. What's going on? I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here because I usually, have my guests that come on here, whether they're rappers, managers, women in hip hop in any capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And you are that as well. Like I just said in the introduction, the cultural reporter, content creator, and you've been doing your thing and you have as equal love for women in hip hop as I do. So let's talk about that real quick before we talk about the culture and women in hip hop and tap into all my topics. Let the people know, who you are and why you should be on this podcast.
Oh man, let's see. North Carolina native, you already know, but once I moved to, I fell in love with hip hop when I was like a kid. I think we mentioned that a little while ago, but just like listening to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, I heard the first album and I was like, this is different. Like, this isn't this ain't nothing I ever heard before. So that's kind of how I just fell in love with hip hop. And then I moved after graduating from undergrad at Hampton. I moved up to New York, and just being in the birthplace of hip hop, like it just completely extended it and enhanced it. And you're like surrounded by it. So I was like, oh, this is it. This is where I need to be. Like this is what it is. And yeah, like I just kind of was surrounded by it so much that you're able to kind of dig a little bit deeper into what hip hop is and like what it means to us and our culture and, globally, worldwide now. So that's kind of how I got into hip hop. And then I started just following stories that were like, about the culture within hip hop. And then I started focusing heavy on women in hip hop. Of course, Nicki Minaj came up and I was like, I was definitely a barb growing up. Right. And then, just kind of seeing how it's totally evolved over the last, 2 decades. So yes, and now we're here and now we love it. Done a couple interviews with Trina, Megan Thee Stallion, et cetera, et cetera. So, that's how we here. And now we're here.
And I love that.
And now we're here.
And I do want to shout you out. How I got wind of you was when you were participating in the ABC show where they focus on women in hip hop. Can you talk about that a little bit and the name of the actual special that ran and the part that you played in it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I got a call back in like maybe 2021. There was a show coming out on ABC called Queens featuring Brandy, Eve, Natari Naughton, a couple of our favorites within the music and acting industry. And of course, given that it was going to be on ABC's network, ABC News wanted to do a companion project along with it for the audience to kind of get excited about what it was going to be and what people could expect and really who the hell are women in hip hop, because that demographic is not for ABC News. So executives gave me a call and was like, listen, we understand your background. Like, we understand your extended projects. Like, we would love to bring you on so you can kind of help co-produce this whole thing and take these senior producers who really have like not a lot of experience with hip hop at all through this whole storyline. And it's crazy because I had been looking into music documentaries. Like the first one I saw that really inspired me was Ava DuVernay's My Mic Sounds Nice. And then I saw you featured on E! News with like Rhapsody and Ninth Wonder and all those other things, just kind of looking at where all the women in hip hop went. And so that was kind of crazy. It's amazing how stars align, but also, picking back up on the real queens of hip hop, the execs called and was like, we want you to co-produce it. We need your help developing it. And we just kind of took it through the time that it started from the 70s, from like Sweet Tea all the way down to like today's generation. And it took a couple of months. It aired back in October 2021. And now it is streaming on Hulu. So make sure y'all check out the real queens of hip hop right now.
Make sure y'all go check it out. Yes.
Absolutely.
Before we get into our topics, just to elaborate a little bit more on that special, just for you getting that call, kudos to you. Absolutely. What was your favorite part of being a part of that project that you felt you learned by being a part of it that you didn't know before?
I think it was story. Like I understood, like I've always been a fan of music documentaries. You know, just even like back when VH1 did specials and things, I did think they did a Nicki Minaj special back in 2010 or something like that. But just having a love for storytelling, and I was like, if I can't be a rapper, at least I can tell stories about it. So listen, if I can't be a rapper, I'll just tell the stories about it. So that's just kind of how I like transitioned into that. The call was crazy because I was like, you know, definitely, absolutely, like it was me doing that project on top of my day job. So that was like, I was looking at like 12-hour days sometimes, like wake up at 8 o'clock, do what I had to do for my main job, and then just making sure that the story was right. I was answering the scenes questions, like anything they needed. I think that was kind of the cherry on top. Like it was definitely a grind and a hustle, but it was the understanding like outline, story, characters, you know, plots, transitions, like your conflict, like how are we going to transition from scene 1 to scene 2? Like how are you going to take it from beginning to end so that the audience, like people who understand it, like me and you, would understand like, oh, you had this decade, that decade, then this is how they all work together and the collabs. But for somebody who has no idea what hip hop is, who has no idea who the hell is even in hip hop, and especially with women in hip hop, how are you going to break it down so that they can understand it and they can receive that information? And so that was really like the opportunity to work on it was crazy, but really learning and getting the hands-on experience was just I mean, you can't get that anywhere else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing that. So now let's get right
Of
to
course.
the topics. Let's get right to the women in hip hop hot topics.
Hot topics. Here we go. Let's go.
Well, first and foremost, we got to talk Blink Blink, Coi Leray's hit record featuring the one and only your girl, because you's a barb.
No, you know.
Nicki Minaj. What are your thoughts on the record?
Man, you know, I think Coi Leray, I feel like the beat was different. Honestly, the fact that Coi and Nicki like even linked up, you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that I think before people, dang, I might catch a little heat for this, but I feel like a lot of people were kind of calling Nicki out to see like, what are you gonna do with this next generation, et cetera, and just her coming in and like just growing it and expanding it. But Coi Leray is definitely talented. Like, let's not forget the beat was crazy. She definitely delivered on lyrics. But you know, I think when it comes to Coi's talent, she's always been very transparent in that aspect. And so I think that as far as I think her adding Nicki or Nicki adding herself onto the project was definitely to get a lot of people excited about what like this whole new generation with the old generation, et cetera. So I think she definitely delivered on a lot of good lyrics.
I think they did an amazing job. I love the record. I agree with you. The beat is phenomenal. I will say, I feel Nicki's verse is just amazing. I don't want to say it's better or whatever, but whatever. For me, it was it. When Nicki came on and how she started off, like, yo, I was like, it's about to go down. And I just feel like she didn't waste the bar. I feel like every line, every bar was intentional and like she built it. And to be honest with you, I haven't been excited about Nicki versus recently featured on a couple of records.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, she did it. That was cool. She did the record, you know, even with Megan Thee Stallion. I wasn't really a fan of that collaboration. You know what I mean? I was like, this is great. They have a great look. They look great together. One of the recent ones, what's the one that she did recently? One of her features.
I'm trying to think. Hold on. I'm thinking, what is it? Do we have a problem?
Do we have a problem? I actually like that one. I mean, her recent feature with a female rapper.
Was it Bia?
Bia. Of course it was Bia.
Bia, man. Bia. Oh, yeah, it was Bia because, well, I think she might have had another one in between. No, I think it was Bia. Like, I think those were only two, Coi Leray and Bia. And then again, shout outs to Bia because that girl is breaking down doors also. And we'll get into her in just a minute. But yes. And I think also Nicki tweeted and was like, you're not going to be able to like recite this in the next day. Like this verse is so heavy. It's so crazy. And I think the barbs went just kind of crazy over that in general.
The Coi Leray record, right? Blink Blink. Right. And that's the thing. I can't even tell she was excited about it because she even knew that she did something a little different
Yeah.
on this particular track that we haven't heard recently. So yeah, I saw when she kind of made that statement. Even her fans was like, man, she must have killed it on this song because she ain't been this excited on a verse in a while. And I think she even did a record with Trina, I want to say sometime in 2020.
Yeah, that.
And, she was getting a lot of backlashes with these features. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Blink Blink featuring Nicki Minaj, Coi Leray record. Y'all both killed it. I'm definitely feeling Nicki Minaj verse more. But giving credit to Coi Leray, she did give credit to her at the end on how she ended her verse, saying that she mimicked Coi Leray's style. And I thought that was pretty cool too, to give her props like that.
But also, let's remember that Nicki Minaj has always been a top-notch feature artist. Like, when it comes to like her coming into the game, into the industry, she has some of the dopest features, like in general. I mean, I immediately think of Kanye West with Monster. Like, that's who she is. So it's really good. Like you said, it's refreshing to see her kind of get back into the game and back into that wheel of dope features.
Yeah, totally agree. Her feature game is impeccable. Like, have a Nicki verse. I know she charging the most. So,
because Coi got it.
Yes, she seemed to be back with her features. Like I said, even like, do we have a problem with Little Baby? I really do. Like that feature. And you spoke about it just a little bit. You tapped in on her. Now we're starting to see her collaborating more with female rappers. And, she used to be under fire about that, how they feel like she wasn't showing love to female rappers. She was being stingy. She even been accused of stopping bags, et cetera, et cetera. So how do you feel about this newfound love or whatever, or this wave of Nicki Minaj featuring with other female rappers? Do you think it's strategic? Do you think it's genuine? Do you think it's smart on her part? Like, what do you think?
I think at a moment, like, everybody knows, like, when Nicki came in, she had to be so gung-ho because so many people were like, oh, you got to do this, 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 and this, and this. I mean, you're in a group of males, so you have to be, obviously she was on the defense, right? This woman's from Queens, New York. Like, let's be honest, she's grown to be on the defense. So I think over time, like, when you've had to fight to maintain to be number one, like, it is probably very difficult to kind of adjust to this new wave. And like, let's be honest, it was more than a wave. This was like a tsunami of artists that were coming in, and her having to adjust. So I think, compared to other artists, a lot of other artists were like waiting. Like, let's say Missy Elliott was probably waiting, like, oh, I've been waiting for this day. But, especially for Nicki Minaj, who probably wasn't ready to kind of give over the torch. I mean, I think she is now starting to embrace it. But also, it takes time when people don't really know things until you hold up a mirror to them, right? So for people to start calling you out, to be like, what are you doing? Like, are you gonna like say anything? Are you gonna help them out? Are you, this new generation looks up to Nicki Minaj. That's kind of like one of the only artists that they know, because they're so young coming in. So I think that once her fans and let's be honest, the Barbs are never gonna call Nicki out for anything. But I think once critics started holding up that mirror to Nicki, I think she finally started to like kind of embrace this new change. But for a while I kind of held her accountable for it. But again, when you're the top dog, it takes time to adjust to something that's new. And also she was announcing retirement. She was ready to have a family. So I think a lot of the things and wants that she wanted at the same time were kind of all coming to her at one time, and it was probably just a lot.
Yeah, and I'm gonna piggyback off that word tsunami. Tsunami happened in 2010 when she really took over.
Yeah,
10-year run she had was really her for the most part. And like you said, during that time of her reigning queen,
right,
there was no competition. Really, let's be clear.
Right.
And it's not to say that the woman prior to her wasn't, they didn't exist, but they wasn't as prevalent and relevant during Nicki's reign. Like Lil' Kim will always be my favorite rapper of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But we're going to, keep it real. As far as when she came, she kind of, reignited the female presence in hip hop. So I will always give her that. So I think it's a little bit of that. And Nicki is from Queens, like you said, and she's a real hip hop head. And in hip hop, it's all about competitiveness. It's all about being competitors and just seeing this person as someone you have to like kill, rather
my verse is better than yours.
Yeah. So I think to her credit, a lot of people tend to lose sight on what hip hop was really based on and how and we all want the women empowerment and women unity, and that's great. But just like in, men in rap, there's not always a camaraderie there, you know, and they can battle and they can beef and it's okay and it's acceptable. But if women go at it, then it's like, oh, she's catty. And I just think there's a double standard in that. And me being really invested and have a love for hip hop, I always like to hold women and male, you know, to the same standards when it comes to, we want to be treated as equal. So if women aren't getting along, that's normal too. You know what I'm saying? Like, let that shine as much as we can have a ladies' night shine with, you know, Kim and all of them on a record. You know, I'm just saying that both can coexist. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And another thing that you mentioned is like, you know, Nicki came in by herself. You know, you had the waves of Trinas and the Missies, and you had the Queens and the MC Lights, and then Nicki had to come in by herself. So obviously, like when you're running a marathon by yourself, like we are not a group. This is not a team. You know, that's a lot for somebody to adjust with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you alone, and now all of a sudden, like it's a whole new generation coming after you. So I think that's just something that she had to get accustomed to for sure.
I do think she's being strategic on who she's working with, and I like
for sure
picking and choosing who she decided to work with. I think the New York connection, the Coi Leray, the Bia, he is from New York, but when she talk about that bodega, having lived in New York for 17 years, I'm like, that bodega,
that's me. That's real.
It's real. So for her to be on a record like that, to me, makes sense. I love to see what she's going to do in the future. I would love to see her mix it up, you know, a little more as far as like seeing her with more rappers. But I feel like so far, so great. These recent runs she has. And, you know, we'll see where it goes. Now, speaking of Coi Leray, I know her album Trendsetter is expected to drop later this year. What are you hoping that you would get from her upcoming album?
You know, I think Coi is such a talented, I think I mentioned a little bit earlier, Coi is very talented. Like, this is a young person who is transparent. You know, she released that song Anxiety, and that's something that we have not, you know, we hear vulnerabilities with R&B artists. We hear vulnerabilities sometimes, but it's on a very different type of aspect when it comes to hip hop artists. So I think for her to have released that, you know, she's obviously going through some stuff. She does an incredible job when it comes to fan base and building that fan base. She got the TikTok generation on lock, because technically I think she's Gen Z. So I'm really just excited to see kind of how she's going to develop over the years, and even through this album, I guess, because I think it's expected to be her debut. So I think she's definitely going to add a lot of transparency into who she is. I think she's going to add, you know, she's going to have the fun TikTok hits, because let's be honest, that's who she is and that's how she goes. But I definitely see her as a person who's willing to accept growth and like criticism and seeing like how you can grow as an artist. So I think that she'll have some bops on there for sure, but I'm definitely excited to see like what she'll do after her debut album. You know, once people have heard it and things like that. But I also think that she's going to be willing to try some new things.
I agree with everything you said. I agree with the anxiety record. I think I'm speaking about, you know, anxiety, anything connected to mental health. It's big. And I feel like she's coming from a genuine place. She's been very vulnerable, you know, on social media, talking about her relationship with her dad, Benzino, you know, to talk about what she's been through, you know, in relationships and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just looking forward to seeing her being the voice of the youth. Another one, on to my second topic. Speaking of albums coming out, shout out to my girl, Big Latto. Ooh.
Big Latto.
The
South is here.
Say it again.
The South is here. She's here.
South is here. Big Latto. What she say? I'm the one, not the two. So
okay. You know, it's crazy though. Real quick. I mean, based on like her name, you know, I know it was like she kind of wanted to kind of change it and ease over it. You know, do you think the society kind of made a big deal out of it?
They definitely made a big deal out of it. I think, and my thing is all about being educated, and it's all about education. She wasn't educated on it. Yeah. And I think in the beginning she was being defensive because we all would be, you know, it's like you worked so hard, you built this name, you built this
like,
career. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, you know what your name means, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was so defensive at first and thrown off that it was like, man, y'all tripping. You know what I'm saying? My name Mulatto, and that's just not knowing that it's a racial slur, you know.
Right.
Something derogatory in the sense of what the name was, how it was created, right?
Right.
So I think once she was educated, you know, she humbled herself and changed her name, and I agree with it. And to be honest with you, I think it's better. Big Latto, she big boss.
Yes.
Like it
Big
matches
Latto.
persona, you know, 777 lottery Latto. Like I
Yeah.
think the way it happened for her, she didn't skip a beat. If it was a situation where I felt like it messed her up, I would have a problem. But I don't see that change name stopped her. And again, some people probably hoped that it would. I hated that for her, and I'm glad that it didn't. And what I am happy about overall is that she was educated and that she decided to make a decision, and it worked in her favor. She just posted her track list on her Instagram page, and we already know the controversy with her album. She's been talking about it. She just did an interview on Big Boy Show saying that a male artist on her album won't release his verse because he wants to holler, basically, and she doesn't. It made it seem like there's a lot of Me Too vibes that I was getting from what she was saying. You know? So, you know, she was just saying how it's so hard out here being a woman in hip hop, especially, you know, female rapper, and getting these verses from these men or dealing with these men, and they try to hover this over your head and play games with you to do some sexual favors. So now that the track list is out, because she also said on the Big Boy Show that this person is still going to end up on my album. I just gotta, you know, gotta play this game. We gotta figure it out. I'm having an issue, but once it's cleared, I'm not taking him off. This person will end up on an album. So now the fans are going crazy, looking at the track list like, hold on, shorty, which one of these guys is it?
Okay, look, you know, Twitter do not hold back. As soon as it got posted, they was like, I want to know which one it was. I think Kodak Black's name was thrown out there for a minute. Everybody's like, it's gotta be him. But I think it turns out it wasn't him. It's somebody else, but we'll see. I mean, well, I don't know.
Here are the names. We got 21 Savage. We got Lil Wayne, Childish Gambino, Lil Durk, Nardo Wick, Kodak Black, and her Big Energy remix is blurred out. She's not saying who is featured on that. I've been hearing rumors that it's Nicki Minaj, which I think would be amazing.
That would be crazy.
Big Energy.
That would be crazy.
I'm telling you, you know, Nicki be trying to put a wool over our heads. She be trying to act like she not doing a feature because she said she didn't have any features coming up. And then it came out that it was Coi Leray with Bleak Bleak. And now we have Big Energy. And like I said, the rumor is that she may be on that remix, so I'm hoping so. Now, the rest of the names that I mentioned are men. So if it's one of these, who do you think it is?
I can tell you right now, I don't think it's Lil Wayne. Like, I definitely don't think it's Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne gives dad, big brother energy vibes right now. I don't think it's Wayne. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it's 21 Savage because I think
he's so mature.
I don't think it's 21 Savage. He is. He's definitely not what you would think on how he raps and stuff. And actually, wasn't he from like London or something? Like, that sounds kind of like crazy, but I definitely don't think it was 21.
Obviously, Lil Durk is in a relationship. I don't think it's him. I feel like Lil Durk just comes across very respectful. He's young, but he has an OG soul. I've seen him before, and I just feel like he comes across very solid and a stand-up guy that I don't see it being Lil Durk at all. Definitely Childish Gambino is a no for me. Like, he can't convince me. I would be totally shocked if it was Childish Gambino. So it's leaving us with, I don't know Nardo Wick. I'm not familiar
with them.
I'm not familiar with his music at all, so I guess he could be on the chopping block. Now, the reason why everybody is saying Kodak Black, because they're saying that he's known for being disrespectful, you know, trying to holler at
history.
He has a history.
Lauren
London. Sorry, it's my dog. Lauren London.
The dog agrees. Listen, the puppy is like, it's him. I mean, I don't know. The crazy thing is what I hate the most is like now we are all like, who is it? And so now a lot of them blown up the spot. But at the end of the day, I think it's like I'm proud of her for calling this person out. Like, now it's kind of put them in the heat, and rather than taking them off, keeping them on the album I think that was a courageous and bold move. You know, I think, you know, it's her standing in her truth and standing in her power and saying, you know, you tried it, and my album is still going to succeed, and I don't have to do this for you, and you're still going to watch my success. And I don't know if he's gonna get paid on written residuals and all that stuff, but I do think that that was a very bold move for her to continue to keep them on the album, whoever it may be.
Yeah, I agree definitely with her speaking up and speaking out, because it's inspiring for the young girls coming up behind her, even the women that come now, you know, that are her peers, to feel like it's okay to speak up when something
Right.
like this is happening, especially in a male-dominated industry like hip-hop, where you feel outnumbered and you feel as you know, people won't have your back, especially when an artist is considered bigger than you or they have more connects and
Yep.
all this blackball bullshit that I feel like, you know, shouldn't exist anymore in this world, but it's still very much, you know, prevalent in today's time in this industry. So I'm glad she spoke out, and I'm glad she said they're still on the album, and I'm glad people aren't speculating. And if it's not true, you need to speak up. I mean, speak up. I know you said earlier that it came out by Kodak Black. You said that. How did that come out that it wasn't him? Did you say that?
I think a couple of reports came out saying that it wasn't him, but again, we know, like, I'm not. It's kind of hard because like all of this is allegedly,
Right.
But it's, you know, it could allegedly be Kodak. It could not. I mean, Kodak could probably be totally innocent. And he's like, damn. But that's what happens when you have that type of reputation. Like that reputation continues to carry you. So, unfortunately, like, hey, if it isn't Kodak Black, your name just got tossed in the fire because of what you've done in the past. So we'll just have to see.
Exactly. Well said. Now let's talk what people was calling her arch nemesis, Amaretta. Now that has been denounced. Now because the record, sorry, not sorry, you are non-Atlanta. Sierra is non-Atlanta.
Atlanta. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Love the record because first of all,
smart move.
It was smart, it was bold, and it puts her, I feel like, because everybody want to represent where they from. Like right now I live in Atlanta, but I don't, like I said, I lived in, you know, New York for 17 years. I've done a couple of years in LA, so like I did a few bids, right? But no matter where I go in the world, I am Detroit through and through. I am from the D. I always represent Detroit, and it's gonna always be like that. So I'm always a fan when people is connected to their city, especially in hip hop. It's huge. Be connected to your city. You got to get popping where you are from first. Most of the time it's like that. And then you can venture off. So she's there. She's from there. She's telling y'all not from there. Even though I'm hurt by some of the names, like Sierra's not Atlanta. Who said that? You know,
it's definitely Atlanta. But I think she grew up. Like I think she definitely grew. I think allegedly she grew up. Look, as reporters, we always throwing allegedly out there. I think she allegedly grew up on the outskirts of Atlanta. But you know what's crazy is like all of us coming up, we always like she from Atlanta. Like, forget it. Don't even say ATL.
And people are having fun with it. Like Sierra even posted it on the page where she was walking, you know, with her catwalk, you know, Sierra being the baddie that she is.
Looking great.
And that song was playing in the background where she's, you know, she says her name and everybody was commenting, you're totally Atlanta. Everybody was commenting. But I feel like people from the A are supporting her too. And that's what I like about it. But when she mentioned Glaco and Glaco County, and we all know with Big Latto, that's what Big Latto been repping since day one. So, and then I think too, for me, what made it feel like there was a problem was when Jermaine Dupri posted it on his page and his caption was just like, I guess, reinforcing people's thoughts that it was beef between them or that the song, you know, and it was like kind of messy. You know, JD could be
getting in people's business. Look, getting in people's business.
I'm like,
without questioning.
Did you produce this track? Like, why are you both like, what's the connection? But okay. So we already know the history with Big Latto and Jermaine Dupri. And you know, so everybody kind of just ran with that she was talking about Latto. Just yesterday, Amaretto released the remix featuring Latto on Sorry Not Sorry. So now the fans are kind of outraged and in her comments like, why did you do a song with her? You know, like.
But you know what's crazy? I think Latto has faced so much criticism in the past. Like that whole name era that she had to face, like nothing. I feel like after that, nothing phases her now. Like her fans get mad at her for jumping on that track. That's for her, that's probably water under the bridge. She's probably like, it don't even matter no more. Cause she's kind of already, I wouldn't say she's already gone through the most of it, but that was a very big storm for her to overcome. So this right here was probably like, that's nothing. Like let's turn lemons into lemonade.
No, but the fans were Amaretto fans. They were mad that
Really?
or saying like, why did you have Latto on the record? Like as if, and to me, it was just her denouncing the whole, this song was about Latto, or this was like a dig at Latto. And to me, I thought that was a smart move because for Latto to get on the record and for her to have her on the record, I just felt that, we had a moment to play with the idea of them being like at each other, and then by them connecting, it's almost like, for me being a older hip hop head, I guess I never felt that I was an older hip hop head, but with the Little Kims and the Foxy Browns, to me that's a collaboration to this day that I would love to see. That could have happened, but I just now, maybe a couple of years ago, threw in the towel and was like, yeah, that ain't ever going down.
I don't think that ain't never, because weren't they supposed to do it like a couple years ago, and like their teams are like, it ain't happening. Like, drop it, it's not happening. Don't ask again.
No. So that's why I love this, because it was like, wow, y'all gave us a little bit of that moment of us being like, okay, who's better? Who's this? Because I feel like, again, that's hip hop being competitive in that sense. And then it's like, okay, then y'all come together. There's no different from when Jay-Z and Nas was beefing, and then next Summer Jam, they're holding hands, and it's a kumbaya moment. So I would love to see more of that with women in hip hop, especially if it makes sense. And to me, this made sense. I didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming either. You ain't even hear it.
I didn't see it coming. I ain't even hear it yet. Look, I was like, wait, what? Like, the fans is going mad. But you know what? I will say it was smart on Amaretta's part, like you mentioned, because you need something that's kind of trendy, right? Like, I have tons of fans that went to Hampton that are from Atlanta, and they are all like, oh, let's be honest, you not East Atlanta Zone 6, whatever they be saying. But, I think that they needed something. She needed a trendy, hot song that was going to help kind of skyrocket and get the buzz going. And that's exactly what she did. So I think that the way that she did it, if she had a team behind her strategizing that was smart. So kudos to her for that.
Definitely smart. Speaking of collaborations, do you have a dream collaboration?
Cool, dream collaboration. Who do I want to see? Who do I want to see?
I'll go first. I definitely wanted Kim and Foxy. Like I said, I threw in the towel on that. However, I feel this can happen in the near future is Little Kim and Nicki Minaj. I would love to see that. I think that can happen. There's been a lot of things happening recently. I don't know if you've seen this, but with the Coi Leray and Nicki Minaj record, Little Kim commented on it, heart emoji, fire emoji. Everybody was like, okay. Hey, Little Kim, we see you showing love to Nicki Minaj over there. And one of the blogs picked it up. Shout out to, what is it, Celebs. Let me get the blog right. I feel like I had it on here. I think it's Celebs Love Nicki Minaj. That's the name of the blog, right? And so that blog posted that Little Kim liked Coi Leray's post of the song featuring Nicki Minaj. And they would say, wow, shout out to Little Kim for showing love to Nicki and Coi. Nicki Minaj saw that post and liked that post. So everybody was like, what's going on here? Like, what's going on?
I can see it. You know what? I think after Nicki giving Kim her due in that recent interview with Joe Budden, I can absolutely see that coming in the future.
Because that was big.
I can see that.
That was big for me when I heard her say that. It was like, yo, if anybody was going to be on the cover of that magazine, it should have been outside of me. Obviously, Little Kim, she knew that she was influenced by Kim, and Nicki knows that a lot of the girls coming up is influenced by her. So I guess she has a point, but she could have made that point without giving props to Little Kim. So you got
absolutely
out. You got a couple of likes here and there. I'm putting it out there.
Dang, wait a minute. Is Nicki Minaj, the real question, is Nicki Minaj having a come to Jesus moment? Like, is she like...
I mean, listen, she's approaching 40. She's a mother now, and she's been the queen for so long, to the point where you really have nothing to prove. And I remember feeling like, you know, and I loved her last album, Queen, but I remember feeling like she probably felt like she had something to prove, but I never felt like she did. Like we said, she's been killing it for so long, holding it down, that at this point in your life, it's okay to give back. It's okay to give props front and back to the people coming up and to the people that was prior to you. You know what I'm saying? And maybe she's having a come to Jesus moment.
I think that woman is having a come to Jesus moment at the house right now. Like,
Maybe we'll do that too.
Yeah, I mean, look, okay.
Maybe your man, you know what I'm saying?
You know, like, she's done faced a lot of criticism. So I think right now somebody has held that mirror up to Nicki, and I think she is truly like embracing it. And I think she's doing a phenomenal job with it. So that's crazy. Dang. I was like, wait, I think she is. But anyway.
I said it here first. Kim and Nicki, I tell you the collaboration is coming soon. I feel it in my bones. So who's your choice? Those are my two.
You know, I really want to see Lakia do something. But you know what? I also want to see some more Houston girls link up. I want to see Big J. She's on the come up and she's good. Like, this girl, it's good. So I want to see her coming up. And Megan Thee Stallion, you know, I think Megan Thee Stallion's working on some things. She hinted that she's got her album coming. And then I would also like to see a Lakia and Latto link up.
Latto, I could see that. They sounds are both hard. Like, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Lakia's flow. I mean, she is a phenomenal freestyle rapper. Like, every single bar is just on it. Like, this girl, for her to be as young as she is, you know what? And let's not also forget Flo Milli. Flo Milli.
She's on my list.
Flo Milli, I think she hinted that she and Lakia are gonna get together. So I can't wait to see that collaboration for sure.
I'm a huge fan of Lady London. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love her flow. I just think she's killing it with the storytelling. You know, the things that she got. You know, I love that. And speaking of collaborations, we already said Saweetie posted her stories about Rico Nasty being on the track with her. Well, she posted a picture saying "Pretty Bitch Music welcomes Rico Nasty," so we're hoping that's a collaboration. But we also have SZA, Summer Walker, the song "No Love." They was being very secretive on who was being featured on the track, so they just announced that it's our girl Cardi B.
Yeah, pew pew pew. Get the anthems together.
Now we already know Cardi B don't miss. That girl, y'all thought y'all was gonna see. Y'all thought y'all was gonna see Cardi B for 15 minutes, but child, she got something else in store for y'all. So when I saw that it was gonna be Cardi B on the track with SZA and Summer Walker, I was really excited because I just really feel like she don't miss. And it's a good look for all of them together. So what you think about that?
Give Cardi all her things, because Cardi, honestly, you want to talk about somebody who came in with a draw 4, reverse, draw 2, Uno out, boy. Everybody thought this girl was going to come in with just like one thing, and then boom, like, she really had to win album of the year for Invasion of Privacy. Is crazy. And let's also not forget, that was not like a hammy win. Like, that was Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy was a very good, strong album. And I also think that with her features, I think that she's good. You know, I don't know if I would compare it to Nicki, but I do think that she does very, very well with features as far as transparency. You know what I'm saying? So I think with this No Love for Summer Walker and SZA to kind of, they're like the pour my hearts out. I definitely think that she's getting ready to deliver on like what people want to say. She just does it in a little bit more of an aggressive way, but she's definitely going to bring her authentic and whole self. Because let's also keep in mind, Cardi B is going through some things at home too. So, you know, I think that she always brings her full self to the studio. And that's the reason why we fell in love with her.
Yep, we fell in love with her with that big personality, and she's been consistent with that. She's been consistent with being transparent, and she's been consistent with her flow. I will say that. And I think she's been very strategic as well with who she does songs with, and it just works. It works.
Right.
Everybody that she's been on a record with, whether it was a Bruno Mars or Adam Levine, or who the hell? We got so many records, so many people.
She got so many, yeah. But
Yeah.
she just clicks with it. Like she is the only, like she is one of the only, I wouldn't say the only, she's one of the only artists that I know that can, if it's a smooth track, it clicks. If it's a fast beat, it clicks. There's a lot of artists that be like, you shouldn't have on that track. But with her, it's like, damn, like you really brought Cardi to it, and you really like introduced it to a whole new world. But I definitely give Cardi her props, because Miss Mamas is here, and she's here to stay.
Nice. Well, those are my topics, my hot topics that I wanted to talk about. Well, with the woman in hip hop, we pretty much covered everything. But again, before you leave, I do want to give a shout out to some of the women that's coming up next. Nicki Minaj, we mentioned her. She seems to be working on a new album. She posted something recently with Big Fendi in the back. So it looks like she back working with the original gangster she was with, it's in the inception of her career. Because a lot of people, I feel like, don't know about her connection with Big Fendi, or like how her career started. I feel like a lot of people, they're just not, I guess, that well versed.
Yeah.
Pick and choose, but she definitely had a run with Deb. She definitely had a run with other people. But when it came to Fendi, I feel like Fendi was the one that really kind of captured, the essence of Nicki and really put her on the map, especially with those the come up DVDs. So to see them back, yeah, that was a grind. Like
MySpace jumping.
Right. So to see them back working together, and the verse that she posted on her Instagram page where she said she took it off, which I thought she was crazy for, but she's going to bring the bars, so I'm not worried about that. But she said Fendi wanted to keep it, but she's scratching it. Just that little snippet alone, I was like, wow, this sounds good. This sounds like the come up DVD Nicki Minaj mixtape in the streets. Good. So I'm looking forward to that.
Her Come to Jesus. This was her time. She needed to name her album Come to Jesus, because I'm telling you, she's just having her full circle moment. So I'm very happy for her. Upcomers, I would be remiss if I did not mention Kendra Man. Like, this girl is delivering bar for bar for bar. It's good. It's catchy. She's very Houston. I love her. I gotta give a shout out to her. So Kendra Man, you up next. Just keep doing what you're doing, because she's definitely gonna take off.
Yeah, I'm also a fan of Juicy Fruit. Everybody from that down in the valley where the girls get naked, which I always say deserves a freaking Grammy or something. No, because I just really I love that song. I love the show, and just in conjunction with her flow, I just feel like I don't even know if that show would be as great as it is if it wasn't for that intro record. It's just so big. So Juicy Fruit, she did a Fire in the Booth freestyle. It was fire. I posted on my Woman in Hip Hop page. She's just amazing. Ruby Rose, I think, is sick.
Oh yeah.
And I do want to give a shout out to Erica Banks. I feel like I want to see more of her. I just want to see more of her. I just feel like she just didn't get enough credit for having that song that went viral when they was dropping it, to Nelly.
That is true. That was, look, TikTok, that's the wave. Like, that's where it's all happening. So, and I think also Callie's got a project coming out. I don't know if it's her full album, but Callie also has something. Where is Juicy Fruit from?
Juicy Fruit is from Memphis.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Juicy Fruit is from Memphis. So those are my picks. Any other ones you want to give a shout out to?
I think Flo Milli, when it comes to, what was it, like pretty bitch music or something like that. We'll bleep that out if whatever we do. But I think when it comes to like Flo Milli is also, representing, putting on for the South. She's kind of already on the come up, but I would definitely keep my eyes out for her. And then Big Jade, of course. My name's Jade, so I was like, I love her. Like, Big Jade is coming, and she's coming heavy, and she's a really strong artist. So I'm excited to see that one too.
Shout out to Drizzy, Chicago's own. I know she's coming up. We got to shout her out. Her album is coming up. She just posted something that she's working on an album, and she was like, basically, coming for y'all. So get ready.
Okay. Look, we missed her because she dropped. I know she had Chanel Slides with Cash Doll, and then she had a couple of other releases afterwards, and then we kind of didn't really hear from Jazzie. So it'll be interesting to kind of figure out, where she went and how she's coming back. But she's back now, so it'll be exciting to see because she's also a very good freestyle. You got to give credit with that one. Very good freestyle artist, like very strong when it comes to bars and delivery overall.
Yes, shout out to Drizzy.
I
Shout out
respect her.
to my Midwest shorty. Midwest girls.
Midwest shorty, stay out there, Look, we're in the Carolinas. Rhapsody is holding it down, but I need somebody else from the Carolinas to come on out here.
Rhapsody ain't no little dog though. Rhapsody is it. Okay, you hear me?
Man, I'm about to be like, all right, Lennox need to start dropping some bars. Like, oh, but she's from DC. She just lived here. She's just signed to Dreamville. I don't know who's from the Carolinas up next, but somebody, look, we going down right now. We got Rhapsody and that's it. We need somebody else. Who's gonna be, so.
And yeah, even talking about hometown, being from Detroit, Cash Doll, I'm looking forward to her coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Cash Doll being back on the scene. And I'm not going to front. I had a moment to where I was like in my feelings with Cash Doll because I really feel like she deserved more. And I didn't feel like she was getting the respect she deserved. She was very consistent. She was very, great at this. I feel like the songs that she was putting out and just her personality is kind of, to me, opposite of the Cardi B, like kind of fell in love with Cardi because her personality. Yeah. So I can feel like I was falling in love with Cash Doll because of her personality. And I feel like a lot of people did. She was very consistent on social media. Yeah. And just her music. And I just feel like, when she posted something kind of saying like, colorism, do exist, I
it does.
On that, and I just feel like when people try to claim that people are crying wolf, I can't respect that because for you to say that that's not her truth, and being, a darker skinned female myself and being around that and having witnessed colorism and knowing that that is real, if that's something that she felt like was holding her back in her career, I would love for her to be able to speak on that and be able to shed light on that as it being the truth. And, so now that she dropped her load, her beautiful baby that she ain't showing nobody yet. I was just in Detroit for 313 Day and she performed halftime for the Detroit Pistons and she looked amazing. She sounded amazing. So I'm just hoping that she's going to be dropping some new music very, very soon. So shout out to Cash Doll.
Yeah, big ups to Cash Doll because she definitely, I believe it. I do think that a lot of darker complexion women, and that's again with Flo Millie's new hit, like it's just saying like what we're feeling, like, you gotta trust your gut. Like it's not them crying wolf. Like they know what, what I'm saying? You know what it is. As an individual, when shit's not right and when things are off. And so I definitely think that Cash Doll, first of all, her tone, anytime you hear Cash Doll on a song, you automatically know it's her. And she also did very, very well with features. Especially she had one with Chanel Slides again, like I mentioned, and then she had one with light skinned Keisha. So yeah, I think Cash Doll, look, we miss you, Cash. Come on, hurry back, get back in the studio, don't give up on us. So but yeah, shout outs to her, Detroit's finest.
Detroit's finest. Well, Jay, thank you so much. Shout out to you.
Of course. Thank you. What a time it's been. Look, we was on an hour, right on the dot.
Well, right on the dot. I'm surprised they ain't cut off photos. Zoom usually be like in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And it's over. Like you be like, hop into the new link, hop into the new Zoom. It's a new link. But of course,
great timing. You have been an amazing guest co-host. I appreciate you coming here, giving your woman in hip hop expertise, your personality, and thank you again for all that you're doing for the culture. And I can't wait to collaborate with you more in the near future.
Of course, in the future it's coming. So thank you again. It's been a time. So we'll see y'all later. Be easy. Be blessed.
Yes. It's your girl Jazzie Belle, Woman in Hip Hop. Check it out. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
I created a space where we can celebrate the unsung and the undervalued. A place where we focus on the many talents and influences for women within the culture, in hopes to inspire women everywhere to overcome adversity in a male-dominated world. Welcome to Woman in Hip Hop.